at age 35, I managed to get hold of a copy of the Quran in English.
Yeah.
First time ever I see a copy of the Quran in English. And I love books. I love reading. And so I've got a copy of the Quran in English. And I thought, well, I've read this in Arabic. I don't know what I've read. Let's read this. So at age 35, I read the Quran for the first time in my own language. And by that age, I read a lot of books. I'm able to comprehend what I'm reading, and I'm able to understand what I'm reading. And I'm not saying that I'm like an intellectual heavyweight, but my goodness, when I read the Quran, I couldn't make head or tail of it. I found it so disjointed. I found it incoherent. I found it clunky. I found it difficult to comprehend. And I mean, I'm not a dum-dum. And I found it difficult. And I was thinking to myself,
yes,
it's really the word of God. I mean, I obviously what happened in Saudi Arabia, I parked that. But when I read the Quran in English, I was like, this is not easy to read. This is difficult. But at that same time, when I'm reading the Quran in English, age 35, just through God's miracle, at that same time, my mother, in conversation and in passing, she just happened to mention in passing about Aisha, who Muhammad married when she was 6 years old. And I stopped my mum. I said, what did you just say? Say that to me again. She said, oh, Muhammad, Aisha was his favorite wife. I said, how can she be his wife? She's 6 years old, Mum. She's a baby. Oh, no, in those days it was allowed. Like, whoa. So the Prophet of Allah was allowed to marry a 6-year-old. But she said, oh, no. He very merciful. Muhammad was very merciful because he didn't fully consummate with her until she was like 9 years old. So he was a very merciful man. And like my head was exploding. I was thinking, wow. I'm reading the Quran in English, and it doesn't make sense. And now my mum's telling me that her prophet, he did this thing. And so
and he was merciful.
He was merciful.
In my mind, this thing has been translated as merciful.
But even my mum said it was merciful.
Wow.
But obviously I wasn't in that culture. I didn't have that mind control. So I was able to think outside of it. And that is what made me cry out. I was age 35 years old, and I've got the Quran, it doesn't make sense. And I've just discovered that Muhammad is a pedophile, right?
Yeah, very much.
Cry out.
Yeah.
Cry out to God, and I say, look, who are you? God, I know you exist. I know you are real. I know you are real. I just need to know the truth. Please tell me the truth. I need to know who you are. So I cried out to God. I fell into a bit of a depression.
Yes.
I fell into a depression. I was like, who are you? Please tell me who you are. And a week later, exactly 1 week later, I see a dream. I had a dream. And in the dream, what I saw in the dream was, I saw the end of the world. I saw in the sky, I saw fire coming from the sky. And I saw brimstone falling from the sky. Big fireballs hitting everywhere. They're like missiles, like bombs coming from the sky. And in my dream, I ran from my house to the beach, because I lived in Brighton by the beach. And in my dream, these are the only words from that dream. And there was a man on the beach, and he was giving a final sermon. And the words of that man, I'll never forget. He said, brothers and sisters, this is the end. And then he became very emotional, and he said, please don't die without Jesus Christ in your life. And that was my dream. So I asked God, who are you? And a week later, he shows me a dream. And in the dream, the message was, don't die without Jesus Christ in your life. And that was age 35. And, you know, that's a really significant dream. But I didn't do anything with it. I continued living my life. I continued partying. I continued.
Did you ever did you ever go to a church from the time that you were born in England, by the time now you're 35 years old? Did you ever go to church? Did anyone, like a street preacher or somebody that talked to you about Jesus?
The school that I went to was a Church of England school. And every year at Christmas time, they took all the children to Christmas service at church. But the 3 or 4 Muslim families that sent their children to that school prevented their children, my parents as well, prevented us from going to church. So on Christmas, before Christmas, when all the children, all the school teachers, all the headmistresses all went to church, my family, the Amin family and the Khan family, the children, were kept behind. We stayed at school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So my parents did not want us to go to church, so we didn't go to church. So to answer your question, number one, I'd never gone to church. I'd never seen a Bible. I didn't even know what a Bible. I'd never even seen a Bible. So to answer your question, no.
So 35 years of living in a called Christian country, right? Is UK
nothing?
Yeah, but no encounter. Nobody reached, even when you were in a school or university, so there was no church or Christian influence in your life by age 35. And then you have this dream. A week after God, you call out to God about who He is. And then a week later, you have this encounter. But this dream wasn't too significant to change anything about your lifestyle. So you continued?
Yeah, 2 people in my life, one from work and one from the party scene, were both Christians. And those 2 people, round about that time, tried to tell me the gospel. But I already knew from mosque, from the imams, what my response would be. I already knew from my parents what my response would be. And my response, the standard response, was, no. I was born a Muslim and I will die a Muslim.
That's it, yes.
I'm a Muslim. I might not practice Islam, but I'm born Muslim.
Yeah.
And I will die Muslim. So no, I don't want to hear it. So I didn't listen to what they were telling me at all.